Good evening and welcome to the City of Helena City Commission meeting, May 20th, 2024. The time is 6 p.m. and this meeting is called to order. Madam Clerk.
City Attorney Doctor.
Here.
City Manager Burton.
Here.
Commissioner Dean.
Here.
Commissioner Logan.
Here.
Commissioner Reed.
Here.
Commissioner Shirtliff.
Here.
Mayor Collins.
Here. Would you rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge. Our commission meetings 5/1/24 and 5/6/24 were received. Do we have any corrections, additions? The minutes will stand as submitted. Proclamations. Don't Fry Day Proclamation. City of Helena. Whereas more than 5 million Americans are diagnosed with skin cancer each year, making it the most common cancer diagnosed in the United States. And whereas 1 American dies every 45 minutes from skin cancer, and whereas the Surgeon General has issued a call to action to prevent skin cancer, and whereas the National Council on Skin Cancer Prevention has designated the Friday before Memorial Day as Don't Fry Day, to encourage sun safety awareness and to remind everyone to protect their skin while enjoying the outdoors. And whereas the most common type of skin cancer, including melanoma, the deadliest form of skin cancer, are strongly associated with exposure to UV radiation, sunlight, and indoor sources. And whereas individuals can take steps to reduce their risk of developing skin cancer by being sun aware. Sun protection helps prevent the harmful effects of UV exposure, including sunburn, skin cancer, premature skin aging, and eye damage. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Wilma Collins, Mayor of Helena, Montana, do hereby proclaim May 24th, 2024 as Don't Fry Day throughout this city, and I urge all the people of Helena to take cognizance of this event and participate fittingly in its observance. In witness hereof, I hereunto set my hand and cause the seal of the City of Helena, Montana, to be affixed this 20th day of May 2024. Wilma Collins, Mayor, Alex Montiel, Deputy Clerk of the Commission. Do we have a representative?
The National Council on Skin Cancer Prevention has designated this day, and this year's theme is Sun Safety, Make It Yours. So we understand that many people think of that as, like a teacher telling you how to do sun safety, but this year we want people to take their own ownership. And so whether you're somebody who wants to stay in the shade most of the day or wear sunscreen, or you don't like sunscreen, so you want to wear sun preventive clothing on, whatever makes it good for you and your children, because as the mayor said, this is one cancer we can prevent, because it is more than 90% is caused by ultraviolet radiation exposure. So we can do something about it. So I prompt all of you, as this beautiful area we live in, where the UV index in May is often higher than August, but the weather feels cool, so we don't know that we have to be careful. Remember, we have high altitude and lots of sun surfaces, whether it's snow, water, sand, wherever we are, we get lots of sun exposure here. So I really thank you. I will say that the aim of Don't Friday and the National Council on Skin Cancer Prevention is to reduce the incidence of new skin cancers and make people aware of how they personally can do something about it. So it's their own ownership. And I thank you so much for, again, this is the 16th year, and I think Helena has been at least about 10 years of doing the proclamation. So we're really proud, and this does go out nationally, that we do this activity as a good health for our community. Thank you.
Thank you. City of Helena proclamation. Whereas Historic Preservation Month is celebrated with a variety of activities in Helena and Lewis and Clark County and across Montana and in the nation during May 2024. And whereas the Helena, Lewis and Clark County Heritage Preservation and Tourism Development Council was created by the 2012 interlocal agreement to promote the preservation of historic and prehistoric structures, objects, buildings, historic districts by addressing historic preservation issues at the local level and integrating them into local, state, and planning and decision-making processes. The HTC, a 7-member volunteer advisory committee consisting of city and county appointees, have written nuggets from Helena, articles that have been published in the Independent Record, and provided annual historic preservation awards to businesses, homeowners as part of their public outreach. And whereas the HTC assists the city with reviewing and providing recommendations for applicants requested to alter downtown historic buildings, exterior subjects to facade easement, historic tax abatements, and TIF and TIF applications for projects, demolition application for historic buildings, and generally advising the public about options related to heritage preservation. And whereas fundraising and grant writing through the City County Heritage Tourism Program has helped obtain funding for the rehabilitation of the fire tower. Whereas the Helena Fire Tower is a unique timber frame structure found only in Helena, is the proud symbol of the city and will be 150 years old in August of this year. The HTC assists the county in reviewing and providing recommendations for major subdivisions, applications, as coordinator with major historic preservation projects in the county, Unionville, East Helena, in 1903 Helena Trolley, the Lincoln and Silver City cemeteries, and generally advises the public about options related to heritage preservations. And whereas the 75th anniversary of the Man Gulch Fire will be remembered this summer by the U.S. Forest Service, Montana Discovery Foundation, National Smoke Jumpers Association, and other partners. And whereas the Man Gulch Fire will also be recognized by a new wildfire mural that will be painted this summer in the Lindy Avenue Tunnel by artist Elise Pepignano. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Will McCullers, Mayor of the City of Helena, Montana, do hereby proclaim May 24th as Historic Preservation Month. Throughout this city, and all citizens are invited to join the recognition of Helena and Lewis and Clark counties' wealth of historic districts, structures, and places. In witness whereof, I hereunto set the hand and cause the seal of the City of Helena, Montana, to be affixed this 20th day of May 2024. Attest Alex Montiel, Deputy Clerk of the Commission. Do we have a representative? With that. Let's say a few words.
Thank you, Mayor and members of the commission, for this honor tonight. We're really pleased to be celebrating Historic Preservation Month as part of the City County Historic Preservation Program. I hope you had a chance to take a look at the large photo banners of the historic buildings that we no longer have that are on the first and second floors. Those banners are there and they'll be up through the month of May. And so the public, of course, is certainly invited to come and take a look at those too while they're up. We will be starting our historic walking tours this summer. We're going to be doing 3 of them again. We'll be starting with downtown as the first one because that's where it all started. And then we'll be going up to the Upper West, and we've divided the Upper West into 2 areas. So we'll be doing downtown for the month of June, the month of July. We'll be doing what's called the Lost Glories, Living Legends. We haven't done that one for quite a while, so we're going to go back and do that one again. And then the ever popular Mansions and Millionaires will be in August. I would like to mention that Greg McNally, who is the County Planning Director, is here also because it is a city-county historic preservation program. And one of the current Heritage Tourism Council members, Sandy Smith, is here with the camera. and Carrie Fairbrother, who is a former member, or her father was a former member of the Heritage Preservation Commission. So I just wanted to acknowledge that they are here too. And again, thank you for having us the proclamation.
Thank you. Greg, you want to say a few words?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Commissioners, Greg McNally with the Lewis and Clark County Community Development and Planning Department. Proud to bring this proclamation for you today and glad that you were able to read it into the record. Mrs. Tardo, our Historic Preservation Officer, couldn't be here today, so I appreciate Mrs. Macefield be able to provide some commentary on the proclamation. And I do want to note that at the end of the proclamation, we note the Man Gulch Fire, which will be celebrating the 75th anniversary of the Man Gulch Fire, which was a terrible tragedy that happened in our back door on August 5th, 1949. And there will be several events that'll be occurring with the U.S. Forest Service in our city, recognizing the reverence of that loss, but also recognizing what we've learned in the years since with the fire laboratory science that we've done and the work that's occurred throughout the nation as a result of that experience and that event. So I'm glad that's discussed in your proclamation, and I hope folks attend some of those events that will be occurring in August of this year. Thank you, Commissioners. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Bid award for 2024 sanitary sewer lamp pole replacement project number 22-08. Director Leland, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor, Commission. This project is to replace lamp holes, which is the old standard to be able to put in the starting of sewer. It actually went through all the sewers instead of manholes. They're basically cleanouts. They're very small, but you could put a jet in there, put a snake down it basically as well. They used to clean old sewers. As we progressed with technology and better operations for installation, we have gone to manholes so you can get in and remove and be able to get any of the clogs that are out instead of just basically going in there and replacing it if there happened to be a big tree root in there. So we are systematically going through when we're finding problems and they're starting to deteriorate on areas that are basically the start of the sewer going down. And this is one to replace them with manholes so we have better inspections and ability to clean it out. This is for 11 of the lamp holes to be done, and they're sporadic throughout the city, mainly in the older part of town, as it makes sense, since they haven't been allowed for, upwards of 50 years. So that's where it's at. On April 30th, we opened 2 bids, and the lowest responsible bidder was Helena Sand and Gravel for $155,833.33. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Comments or questions from the commission? Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Director Leland, I wonder first question was, are all of these replacements happening in the same neighborhood or is it all over town? And then my second question, we're doing 11 here. Do we know how many are left for replacement?
Mayor and commission, we have right around 50 that are left to go to do. And then majority of them are spread out through the Mansion District as you go on the west side is up there. They're kind of sporadic, although you can't say one neighborhood, but majority of them are up in that area.
Okay, thanks.
Any other comments? Okay, do we have any public comments on this topic? Madam Clerk, do we have any online?
Mayor, I see no public comment online.
I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor,
Go ahead, Commissioner.
I move to award the 2024 sanitary sewer lamp hole replacement project number 2208 to the lowest responsible bidder, Helena Sand and Gravel, in the amount of $155,833.33.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any final comments? Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Shertliff,
Aye.
Commissioner Logan,
Aye.
Commissioner Reed,
Aye.
Commissioner Dean,
Aye.
Mayor Collins.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
Commission proposals. Commissioners? See you. Okay, report of the city attorney. Welcome home.
Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners. I have nothing to report tonight.
Report of the city manager.
Mayor, Commissioners, I have nothing to report this evening.
Communications from Helena Citizens Council. Paige Myers.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Commission. The HCC's budget recommendation is coming along well. We have a good committee putting lots of information together. We look forward to having it ready by May 31st and submitting it to the Commission for your consideration. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Commission.
Thank you, Representative Myers. Regular items. Transportation System, MPO agreements. Director Kanapke, you have the floor.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. I'm joined with our MPO manager, Ty Weingartner. As was introduced at the admin meeting, these MPO agreements are one of the steps required in the movement of us progressing so that we can start using our PL funds that are allocated as an MPO. One question that was brought up in the admin meeting that I'd like to clarify is the addition of, or adding additional members to each one of these committees, whether it's the PCC or the TAC. What's in these agreements is what is kind of the backbone of the committees themselves. And in the bylaws themselves, each committee has the opportunity to add additional members if they see fit. And then that committee would then vote on adding additional members up or down. And obviously that can change over the years as focuses change or vision changes. So I just wanted to clarify that. This is exciting for Helena, and Lewis and Clark County and East Helena to become this MPO. And we're looking forward to moving forward, getting the funds allocated so that we can start on the public participation plan, our action plan, and the update of our long-range transportation plan. And then in the future years, there'll be a number of other studies that will be coming along with other monies to work with the federal grant aid system. With that, we recommend approval for the documents as presented to be signed by the mayor. And I'd be happy to answer any questions along with Ty.
Comments or question? Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And Director Knopke, I think I'm hearing you correctly. New or additional members can't be appointed until the bylaws are approved and the committees are formed. Is that accurate?
Mayor and Commissioners, that's correct.
Mr. Mayor, Director Kanapke, I know you talked about this a little bit at the admin meeting, and it's been in our previous meetings as we've been leading up to the adoption of the MPO documents, but can you maybe talk a little bit about the negotiation that happens to get us to this point with the memberships as they stand, particularly on the TAC?
Mayor and Commissioners, yes. So there was a larger group that met on a regular basis to discuss each of these steps as we progressed to this point. And really it was trying to get the major players from each entity on
the boards or the committees. The policy coordinating committee was the easy one. Those are typically elected officials from the entities and the agencies. The TAC was a little bit more difficult, but we made sure that all entities were representative, whether they're through the engineering or through planning. We added the superintendents of the school district because they're a valuable member of the transportation committee. But ultimately, we had to come up with a number that we just had to say, yeah, that sounds good for now. And if the committee at some point wants to expand, then that would be up to them. And, we stopped at 13. Initially, we were at 9. But we just worked back and forth with the agencies involved to come up with that final list.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
Thank you. Director Knopke, can you speak a little bit about the federal funding that will be set aside for this, along with the set aside for the complete streets planning activities?
Sure. Mayor and commissioners. So we just had a meeting this afternoon. They haven't quite come up with the exact amount, but they are hopeful that they'll have it. Initially, it was 300,000 and some change. I don't know if that's going up or down. But as you mentioned, there's a 2.5% set aside for complete streets planning and implementation. And so those monies will be dedicated to those complete street activities. Whereas the other funding would be open for the TAC will be, and the MPO manager will be bringing recommendations forward saying we need this study for our next step in the chain. And then that will be brought forward to the TAC. The TAC will make the recommendation to the PCC, and the PCC will ultimately decide whether to allocate those funds to a particular project. Do we have any more? Do we have any public comments? Oh, you have? Yeah, sure.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to make a brief comment that I am going to be supporting this. I will say that I think this is a really big step for us to move these documents and these agreements forward. It's been like a year in the making since we were designated as a metropolitan planning organization. I'm really excited that on the technical advisory committee that we do have the inclusion of folks like the superintendent's non-motorized representative, ADA coordinator. I think this is a really good step for us to be able to show that all forms of transportation are what we consider transportation. So these are part and parcel, whether it's non-motorized, biking, etc. It's part and parcel of how we consider transportation in our community, and that those folks, have a seat at the table, not a separate one that advises separately. So I think it'll be really important as we move into the LRTP, the long range transportation plan, that we have an opportunity to have all of the experts at the table and really start moving some of our priorities and initiatives forward in transportation. And very grateful to Director Knopke and all of transportation for the work that they've put in. It's significant, and I think that by looking at the documents, you may not have an idea how significant it's been, but it doesn't go unnoticed by the commission, and I'm grateful.
Madam Clerk, do we have any online?
Mayor, commissioners, I have no hands raised and see no public comment online.
I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor,
Go ahead, Commissioner.
I'd like to move approval of the MPO documents as presented.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. Do we have any final discussion? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Shartliff,
Aye.
Commissioner Logan,
Aye.
Commissioner Reed,
Aye.
Commissioner Dean,
Aye.
Mayor Collins.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
Uh-huh. Is there anyone from the public wishes to address the commission?
Greetings, Helena Commission, staff, and the Helena community. My name is Brian Copeland. I live at 1610 Hudson Street, number 2. The reason why I'm here today, most of the time I come here because it's a good place for me to be. This time I've been sent by the community, by a group of people who are committed to trying to make some change occur that should have occurred a long time ago and hasn't. How many of you commissioners know what the Connect system is? Can I see by a show of hands if you know
No,
what the
no,
Connect
would you
system is?
just make your comments, please?
Well, I'm trying to make my comments, Mayor. I'm just trying to see if the commissioners are aware of what we need to do in the community by using this one power tool. Do any of the commissioners know what the Connect system is? Can I see but thank you.
Brian,
Thank you, Commissioner.
please make your comments.
I'm trying to, Mayor. We have a program called the Connect system, and we should be using it, and we're not. So I've been putting together some information for the, sorry, I've had a head injury and I've got black mold poisoning, so it's hard for me to form thoughts, especially when I'm when I've been trying to form my thoughts and I'm struggling just to breathe and to stand here because my knees are in so much pain. But I've been trying to work with the manager to get us all back on track in the community to help the homeless people, because I'm tired of seeing everybody dying in the community with no help of services, and the community falling apart and not making any progress. For the last 40 years, I've been working with the homeless population, and I've heard the same discussions every year of this is what we're going to do and this is what we're going to do. I've heard the talk and there's no action. And that has to change. We have to actually get in there and use the tools to change what's going on, because we're trying to pound a screw in with a hammer and it's not the right tool for the job. So what I'm here today to do is to put 3 items on the next meeting's agenda. These are the 3 items, and I will talk to Tim afterwards to make sure that whatever we need to do, we can do. But this has to be done, because if we want to move forward, we have to have the power tools to do it. The first item is the Connect system. The second system is called the coordinated entry system. And the third item is called help. And I will provide whatever information that you guys need, or if there's any questions that you guys have. My information's already been made available, so I'm pretty easy to find. But it used to be that the squeaky wheel used to get the grease. That's not the way it is anymore. Now it shoot the messenger. And we need to get away from that, because it's not right. So let's work together. Let's do what needs to be done. Let's work with, look at our place. We're losing our place. We've lost Career Training Institute. We've lost Helena Industries. What have we done to fill in those gaps of those lost services? And there's people in their homes that are dying, that are not getting their in-home health care. Our community is failing everywhere. If you want to recover from addiction, the first step is admitting there is a problem. And we have to admit that we have a problem. Before COVID hit, after COVID hit, it wiped everything out. I know, I was on the front
Would you
lines.
please wrap up?
I know, I was on the front lines during the COVID crisis. I was delivering people to the hospital. I was delivering people to food share. I was fighting for people's housing. I seen how everything came to a complete stop, and we are not working together to start it back up again. So please, please, come to the table. Let's get this done. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any other members of the public wanting to address the commission? Madam Clerk, do we have any online?
Mayor, I see no hands raised and no additional public comment online.
Any final comments from the commission? This meeting is adjourned.